Welcome to Travel with Danny and MJ.
I'm Mary Jane.
And I'm Danny. We're traveling the world with just carry-ons and a backpack each.
Follow along on our adventures ahead.
We're going to Rabat.
Welcome to our video on Rabat. What a nice surprise we had when we visited there.
It's the capital of Morocco, so it's kind of dressed up for visiting dignitaries and everything. So it's a bit less rugged than some of the other towns and more polished.
Definitely cleaner, more polished. Still Moroccan, but a nice surprise to be in like a different atmosphere.
Taking a day trip to Rabat, Morocco on the train. Early in the morning. We got the 6:50 train. Our train is the first car. First class cabin. We have arrived in Rabat, half an hour late, which is kind of what we expect from the Moroccan trains. The air conditioning is not great, and they are pretty much always a little behind schedule. Left on time, but half an hour late. So, it looks like a pretty little city here. Walking around and seeing the sights. So the first place we visited after we got there on the train was it's called the Kasbah, and it's the old fort that defended the city. Had beautiful white streets inside. It overlooked the harbor and a beach area.
Yep. Once you get inside, it's very Mediterranean looking. So it's very different. Whitewashed walls and blue doors and vines of flowers growing. So that was nice. That was a beautiful area.
This is the Kasbah of Rabat. It's right up to the seaside. So the Kasbah of Rabat sits right on the ocean. There's a little cemetery right below it, right before, and then a big public beach area. These are some ruins that were found like 20 years ago here. We're doing some excavation right outside of the Kasbah. So this is an inlet. I'm not sure where it goes behind there, but I think it's kind of a river connecting all the way back there and out into the Atlantic Ocean. People down on the beach there. This is the old fort, the cannons for defending this inlet, this port. And then now it's just a bustling beach. Not too crowded though, actually. It's such a hot day. I guess it's a weekday. It's a Monday. And after that, right kind of next door to the Kasbah was these gardens. They call the Andalusian Gardens, and there's just a green space right next to the Kasbah.
Yeah, very pretty.
Yeah.
We also felt it was a little bit cooler there. I guess because we were closer.
Right on the coast. Yeah.
So it wasn't so oppressively hot as in Marrakesh. So that was a big plus.
Now we're in called the Andalusian Gardens, right kind of below the Kasbah, created kind of to give a green space to that area next to the great castle fort protecting the city. And then inside the gardens, there was also this historical cultural museum with a lot of interesting exhibits of all kinds of different clothing and different weapons that they would use back in the day.
The Berber people, there are still Berber who live in the country. But this was all historical information. Yeah, it was a nice little museum, and it was very air conditioned. I remember that.
Now we're down below the Kasbah, looking up over it, closer to the water now, and the beach goers. So this is really the river before it reaches the ocean. Walking along the river, we're going to get some lunch in this restaurant that's sitting on a boat called Le Dow. Look at them jumping in off the wall there. Lots of activity here along the water. Then after that, we went to the Hassan we say square. I don't know if it's officially a square.
Yeah. So you'll
see more about that here.
Yeah, take a look.
Yep. The Hassan Tower, they have royal guards on horses posted.
The Hassan II Tower is an unfinished minaret from the 12th century. It was originally intended to be the tallest in the world, standing as a majestic symbol of Morocco's medieval ambitions. The open esplanade surrounding it is what many visitors refer to as the square. And at the foot of the tower is this huge courtyard and what remains of the prayer hall, which must have consisted of 21 naves separated by rows of columns. But when Al-Mansur died in 1199, construction of the mosque just stopped. The minaret was left standing at this height of 44 meters, and the rest of the mosque was also left incomplete, with only the beginning of several walls and 348 columns that were being constructed, but some of those were further damaged in an earthquake in 1755, so this is what we have left. Also in this square is the Mausoleum of Mohammed V. He was the king who led Morocco to independence from France in 1956 and became a symbol of unity for the nation. Inside lies him, Mohammed V, his son Hassan II, who ruled for nearly 40 years, and Prince Abdallah.
Next stop is a place called the Chellah, which is a set of ruins in Rabat, very old, and it has been taken over by storks. Really, there's storks all over, nesting all over in the towers around the Chellah Ruins. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. It's a little bit outside of like the main streets, so we walked there, and it was quite a hike. But you could Uber there, but definitely worth going to. And you walk through with headphones, and it tells you all about the ruins that you're seeing, and of course the storks. And at first we were like, oh, there's a stork, but really we probably saw like 50 storks nesting and flying, and it's really cool. So the history is very interesting, and then you get the storks on top of that.
Taking this walk across, overlooking the little river there is left over here, and that big tower in the distance. Seems like just a massive floodplain for when they said the floods really happen in like sort of September, October, November. So, and from the looks of it, this whole area probably fills with water. Place Chellah is an ancient, I guess it was a fort or a Kasbah, but now it's kind of in ruins a bit, and it's kind of overrun with storks who have nested all over the place, and they're just kind of add to the atmosphere of ruin, really. We ended our day back at the Medina, kind of near the train station where all the market is.
And we've been to now several markets. This was definitely a little more calm, not so crowded, not so aggressive, but still, they're trying to make a living and selling their things. So we've said before, we don't buy anything, but it's always good to see, what's handmade, what they're selling, and I like to see what people are actually buying. It's amazing what people are buying.
Medina, Rabat, bunch of shops, and we're gonna walk to the central market And then I think we're gonna call it a day in Rabat. We like Rabat. It's really nice. This is the central market. It's kind of it's the end of the day. All the fish and things are not going anymore.
So that was a good way to wrap up the day. And
We really liked Rabat. We'd
Yeah.
like to spend more than a day there sometime.
highly recommend it. It's different, and it's like a lovely little city. So if you have a chance to get there, yeah, you should go.
See you soon. Thanks for traveling with Danny and MJ.
We look forward to seeing you on our next adventure.